refugees that is a big problem for us.
In Tel Aviv particularly, right?
Yeah, there's like 25,000 of them, and they're not citizens, and so they're in a miserable place. But because we were all refugees at one point, and nobody would take us in, there's sort of this agony within Israeli society of whether or not we should, just accept these people and rehabilitate them, or we should put them in some kind of high-functioning, detention camp, and then eventually wait for peace to come and send them back, or find countries that will take them as refugees. Anyway, what I did was, this was actually the beginning of me working with stones. This is called Scarf for a Refugee. And it was about how the weight of place never leaves a refugee. Like
this is on your page. This is in your slides.
Yeah, that it's, that they, wherever they go, they've got this weight of not being part of the society that they're living in, being outside, and actually, in fact, transparent, because this is made from very, very sheer fabric, because they're invisible, many of these people, in the societies that they're in. But also they've got this horrible weight of not belonging, and bringing with them the horrors of wherever it is. They left for a reason. All these people didn't trudge across the Sinai and risk their lives because they, just couldn't get the food they wanted. I mean, they all left because of dire straits. So that's what this piece is.
Do you write up pieces when you do that? The explanation that you're telling me? Do you have a accompanying?
First of all, I write artist statements, but also I write. Like, I've had a couple short stories published.
Really?
I won an award for a short story about Iran bombing Israel, actually.
Really?
Fiction, and hopefully it will stay fiction.
Well, the other class that I'm doing this year is, it's new. I usually just teach 9th grade because I have so many things to do, but I'm teaching a class called Contemporary Voices in the Middle East. And do you know the short story collection, Apples in the Desert? I forget the author's name.
No. But
she's Israeli. It's really good, and she has one. I want to use. If I'm creating my own anthology, I can only use one story from here and there. Otherwise, it would. I couldn't take more than that of someone's collection. So I'd love to have your story.
So I'll send them both to you. One is about the one that was in Moment magazine that won an award was about Iran bombing Israel and what would happen. And then the second one was somewhat autobiographical, although it doesn't read that way. It's about an Arab watchman who is basically the night watchman for a beautiful house that's going up for a Jewish family, and what that experience must be like, So and that was in Commentary magazine. So I'll send you both of those. So the answer is yes, I love to write. And then I want to show you this little book also. So I have about 3 or 4 Palestinian friends in the Old City. They're all vendors,
You don't know the Sinjalawis, do you?
No.
I'm very close to them. They're jeweler family.
This is Ibrahim Abu Khalaf, who's he sells fabrics. He's from a huge family that sold fabrics in the Old City for forever. And then Badawi he's a really funny guy. He sells jewelry and textiles and beads, and then there's another guy who sells Mazen, who sells rugs, gorgeous rugs. Anyway, what I did was there's a fantastic project in the United States called Artomat, which is a project started by Clark Whittington, and you can Google it and you can find it on the internet. He takes old vending machines and funks them up, makes them crazy funky, and sends them to museums and cultural centers. There's one in the lobby of the Whitney, and artists from all over the world submit proposals for tiny little pieces of art that come out of the vending machine. And if they accept it, then you have to produce like 50 of them. So what I did, I actually did 100, and I think they're all gone. They're all sold. But this was called Me and Badawi, A Story of an Unusual Friendship. And this was basically, you'd put your little $7 token in the machine, and you'd get out this box. And so it has like this beautiful Middle Eastern Damascus fabric. And then out comes this book with these little beads that came from Badawi's store. And so it's a whole book that talks about, so it says, Badawi is my friend. He's a Palestinian Muslim. I'm an Israeli Jew. He has a small shop in the Arab Bazaar in the oldest part of Jerusalem. He sells beads from all over the world, and it says China, India, Afghanistan, Egypt, Russia. I make things with his beads, artsy things. I hang them off my little handmade books. He sells Bedouin embroideries, and I like to collect them. We have a dialogue all about color, colors in Hebrew and in Arabic. So this is, all the different colors in Hebrew and Arabic. He tells me stories about how and where he buys these things. And these were some bracelets that I bought that came from a Bedouin woman. I tell him stories about leaving America and coming to the middle of the Middle East. He teaches me Arab proverbs, asala basala, which means like one day honey, one day onions. I teach him Yiddish. A shtickle maza is mir via ton gold. A little bit of luck is better than a ton of gold. In the summer, we drink yogurt drinks or fresh orange juice. And in the winter, we drink strong black Arabic coffee or tea with lots and lots of leaves of sage. These are the things we discuss. Our children, cooking, school, making money, war, friendship, politics, textiles, hate, and beads. We are very good friends, and we both agree that you have to start somewhere, me and Badawi. And then I list where his store is, and I list my website.